It's Thursday, June 25th, 2026. Are oil companies gouging us? One unifying consensus on what exactly is driving Mamdani mania, and I think we have our priorities misplaced. Grand Theft Auto 6 is the latest indication, but maybe not how you think. Next on the AM Update. President Trump met with members of the Senate GOP yesterday. Here he is as Senate Majority Leader John Thune is trying to get away from media. Trump stops and talks to him as always.
The war is going very well. As you know, we're winning by a lot. Iran is making very big concessions. We'll see what happens, but it's been very, very, very powerful. It's going very, very well.
President Trump echoed those sentiments at other points throughout yesterday as well, saying that Iran is giving the United States everything that we want in the ongoing negotiations. As I said, he made those comments coming out of a lunch with the Senate GOP, where reportedly from multiple sources, multiple members of the media, he got into a little bit of a shouting match with outgoing Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy. And Bill Cassidy lost his primary. It was the largest margin of defeat by a sitting incumbent senator, or at least Republican senator, maybe in the last, what I want to say, 50, 75 years. Can't remember the exact figure. It was an embarrassing defeat for Bill Cassidy. Apparently, he decided to, on his last lap around the D.C. swamp, get into a shouting match with President Trump. I don't know, why, other than you're just a little man. You've just got little man syndrome, and you have to let Trump know, who is responsible for your ouster, by the way. You got to let him know just what you think and just how wrong he is about everything, because I don't know, I'm looking at that. I would not want to speak to him at all if I was Bill Cassidy, because all Trump has to say is, why did you lose your election, Bill? Sit down. President Trump also announcing yesterday, before that meeting with Senate Republicans, he's no longer going to be signing the the bill for the housing bill, the bipartisan housing bill that has made its way through Congress, passed with pretty much supermajorities in both chambers. Basically, anytime I hear a housing bill, I'm just like, no. I mean, I've heard various perspectives on this bill, but anytime the federal government, anytime the federal government gets involved with housing, and it sounds like from what I've read is that this is a massive expansion of the Section 8 housing. That's an oh no. But President Trump says he's not signing that bill until the Senate passes the Save America Act. Don't think it matters. Because, again, it passed with supermajorities. So it's going to become law either way, regardless of President Trump's support. But at least he's picking a fight. Met with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, where he had these comments about the gas prices, the price at the pump in the aftermath of the Memorandum of Understanding with Iran.
So it's ExxonMobil, it's Chevron, it's Shell, it's BP, it's a lot of them. The gasoline or the oil prices have come down so much, and we are not seeing anything at the pump by comparison to what it should be. We should be, in my opinion, at $2.25 right now at the pump, and we're higher than that.
So you have to think, Trump is not that dumb. He's not. That's just, I got to check these populist messaging boxes. The big guy is just sticking it to the little guy. I'm seeing him. He made a similar post on Truth Social yesterday morning as well. I'm just like, that's not how it works. Although he is right, the oil prices have come down. WTI crude trading at under $70 a barrel, last I checked. So that's good news. It will happen eventually. I think towards the end of the summer, we'll start to see those prices really come down and hopefully stay down. Well, let's go to this as well. I have a unifying theory about why these Mamdani endorsed candidates and Mamdani himself are so successful right now. Of course, everyone is talking about those three congressional candidates, two of whom knocked off Democrat incumbents in their primary the other night. All three of them endorsed by Zohran Mamdani. All three of them running on basically the identical platform: abolish ICE, free Palestine, free stuff for everybody, free housing for everybody, and Donald Trump is a fascist. Well, there's one that Zohran Mamdani endorsed for New York State Senate. Her name is Quas. In the victory post from the Democratic Socialists of America, who endorsed Quas as well, who is a Muslim, They said Palestine was on the ballot and Palestine came through. Why Palestine is on the ballot in New York State, I know not. But this is one of the more underlooked, I believe, candidates that won with the backing of Zohran Mamdani the other night. Here's Aberquas talking about 9/11.
And finding that,
I think we should give them maps, such as
the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people. And so this is a long trajectory, and we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so a lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, attack, right, if you look back, historically, right, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right, a lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for a terror attack that a couple of people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find reprehensible.
So she says it's reprehensible that people have questions about, a terror attack that killed thousands of Americans back in 2001. She says it's reprehensible to wonder about that because colonization and thus and such. Again, that is Aberquas, one of the Mamdani-backed candidates who won the other night in her primary. She will probably go on to the New York State Senate. I have a unifying theory. Did you see that video the other day? At one of the watch parties for these socialists in New York City. These New York City area congressional candidates backed by the socialists. They're really communists, but it's 6 1/2 dozen of the other. Did you see any of those videos from the watch party for the results coming in? Almost 100% white young people. And if you look at the exit polling and look at some of the polling going into the election of Zohran Mamdani, it looks like some of the initial exit polling from these elections as well. Very white. Almost unanimous support from white younger people. That is interesting. Here's the unifying theory here. A lot of these very well-to-do, and it's just younger people in general, but I noticed the white youth seem to be joining in on this train. I think the unifying theory of why some of these candidates, I believe maybe 2 of the 3, I know one of the 3 congressional candidates that Zohran Mamdani backed is a Muslim. All 3 of them are the Free Palestine commies. This lady that you just heard from in the New York State Assembly primary for the Democrats, she's Muslim as well. Zohran Mamdani, Muslim as well. Wears that on the sleeve. But they're also very communist coded. They exude communism, socialism, just as much as they exude Islamism. I think the reason why this is so attractive to young people, they have been just absolutely inundated their entire lives. I'm talking about millennials my age and younger. Absolutely, you were born by it, molded by it, or I was born by it, molded by it, like Bane. They have been so surrounded by a godless culture that it is the most natural conclusion that whom they would support most enthusiastically politically are the melding of 2 of the most anti-Christical ideologies on the face of the planet, Islamism and Marxism. And that's why it's just hand in glove. That's why these people are so popular, especially amongst the youth. They don't even think about the religion of Islam because it's not a religion, it's an ideology. They just see, hey, that's Antichrist. I love it. That's my unifying theory for why these people are so successful already. Is that a winning message in the year 2026 for the country at large? Not quite, but it's not quite as far away as I think we would like it to be. So that stuff's on the horizon really quick. When we come back, I think the latest example of perhaps misplaced priorities is emerging from the world of video games. I want to talk about that as well as our poll of the week. It's coming up next. Grand Theft Auto 6 from Rockstar Games. Pre-orders on sale now for a November 19th launch date. Rockstar Games, probably the premier now company in the industry of video games. On sale now, the base edition is like $80. The deluxe edition is like $100. And I will say this about Rockstar Games. The games that I have played from that company have been exquisite. And I've given my review of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is my favorite video game of all time. The story is incredible. It's a polemic against communism. Whether or not they intended that, I do not know. But the story is amazing. The gameplay mechanics are amazing. The world building is incredible for its craft. However, I know what you think I'm probably going to say, and I'm not going to say that. Yeah, there's going to be far too many dudes, far too many people in general who will spend far too much money, far too much time, far too much free time playing this game and sundry other video games. But I want to look at it from the input perspective. Because yes, spending far too much time playing video games, which far too many grown men will be doing with this game, too much time, too much attention, that is a misallocation of resources. But like I said, I want to look at this from the input production end, not just the output. The rumored budget for Grand Theft Auto 6, this video game that's on sale now, will be out in November. The estimates and rumors that I've seen for its budget, $2 billion to develop this game. $2 billion. To give you a frame of reference, the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the entire world, had a budget of $1.5 billion. $2 billion to develop a video game. The time it took to construct the Burj Khalifa, about 6 years. The time it spent to develop Grand Theft Auto 6 will have been between 7 and 8 years. More effort, more time, and more resources were put into developing a video game than the tallest building in the world. And that's by some of the more conservative estimates. But that's not just the only misallocation of resources. I'm talking about human resources. Video game programming. All of the various fields of mathematics and algebra, geometry, that goes in to being a coder on a video game like this, it takes some of the world's foremost super geniuses. Do you want to say I'm exaggerating? Okay, but in terms of the volume of the number of people you need who know and are experts in things like that, are experts not only in things like that, but also experts in coding, I don't think it's too much of an exaggeration to say that some of the world's smartest people spent the last 7 to 8 years working on a video game. A video game. Do you think I'm exaggerating? I don't think I am. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic game. I might even get it myself. I'll keep it in its proper position, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I just think that $2 billion, I think we would all be okay if Grand Theft Auto 6 did not exist. And when I say I'll get it, I mean I'm going to wait like 5 years until it's not $80. That's a lot of money. Let's go to this finally, our poll of the week. From one pastime to another. I asked you, are you actually following the World Cup? Gave you 4 options. Yes, soccer rocks. Of course not. I'm loosely aware and following USA only. In last place, following USA only at 11.4%. Got a lot of votes on this poll. In third place, yes, I'm following the World Cup because soccer rocks, 13.9%. In second place, I'm loosely aware at 28.7%. And in first place, good on you guys. Love my audience. Of course not. I'm not watching the World Cup. Not following the World Cup. Marshall says, what's the World Cup? Mike says, I'm English, so of course. Auburn says, I'm not following it, but I love seeing the vids of how many visitors are astounded by what they see in America. Those have been cool. Trumpet says, I wasn't following it at all, but USA soccer team apparently doing prayer circles before and after games and openly discussing Bible studies. I'm now following our guys with interest. Might the Lord be moving in mysterious ways in our professional sports leagues? That could be a possibility. Alex says, I had no idea this was going on. Tom says, my actual preference is for baseball. Andy says, I've not watched in any way, but I know the USA locked up their group after the first 2 games. Jay Breezy says, none of it. Doug says, I have not watched a second. That'll do it for our poll of the week, and that'll do it for the AM update this week. No episode tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful Friday and a good weekend. Back at it again on Monday.